Alright, so our project is called Shipstainable Housing, and I'm Kevin Law. I study urban and regional planning at Cal Poly Pomona.
I'm Hannah Brook. I study mechanical engineering at the University of Delaware.
I'm Caitlin Sturza. I'm a civil engineering student at Michigan Tech.
I'm Chen Shen, and I study structural engineering and architecture at the University of Sheffield.
I'm Jacob Schaefer. I study environmental engineering at the University of Florida.
And I'm John Sardi. I'm a business administration major at Johnson Wales University in Rhode Island.
So a little background information. So the reason for our project is because in the United States, affordable living spaces for low-income households are insufficient for the increasing population. So this means like around average poverty per capita at the U.S. Census data was about $29,000. And it is estimated that with the same U.S. Census, there was about 12.7% of the population currently in low income, and that equates to about 41 million people. And the current project aims to address this issue while promoting sustainable housing, reducing the net carbon footprint, and providing structural integrity meant to last for decades, so that way the structure will last with the next coming waves of different climates. And so our problem or solution would be to create low-income, high-density housing in impoverished communities, giving access to utilities with sustainable features, and recycling shipping containers as a base for construction. And so we will achieve this project following these objectives, so stacked housing to increase the housing density, and create follow the sustainable development goals with affordable and clean energy, decent work and economic growth, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, reduce inequalities, sustainable cities and communities, and peace, justice, and strong justice institutions. And we will also apply adaptable applications depending on the region, so rainwater capture for very wet seasons in some areas, and support the local economy with construction jobs and buying materials locally.
So we examined two case studies, first of which is Shipstainable Homes, which is based in the Netherlands. It's a housing development system that builds customized homes for clients based on their specific requirements. And the construction system is based on computer numerical control milled wooden modules, which can then be assembled on site and recycled for future projects. Importantly, these homes can be designed to be entirely off the grid, with their own energy system, drinking water supply, and wastewater treatment. So the design process works with determining the client's location and budget, followed by designing and building it. And our key takeaway from this case study is that customizability can improve both environmental and economic sustainability, because fewer resources are wasted on unnecessary features. And this works in line with our objective of adapting our houses according to the available renewable energy resources on site. The second case study we looked at is Grow That Youth Farm, based in the States, and it provides fresh food to inner city New Orleans, as well as creating job opportunities for high school students who face daunting job prospects several years after the horrors of Hurricane Katrina. It also established many partnerships with local organizations, including the Tulane City Center and Clean Plate projects, and high schools and several youth organizations. The key takeaway we have from this project is its social sustainability, and that shipping containers can possibly be a viable construction option.
So for the materials we're going to use in our Shipstainable homes, the main goal of a sustainable home is to have as little impact as possible on the environment, from the production to the actual residence. The material used to construct the home are vital for the level of sustainability. So besides the shipping containers, we've chosen materials that not only add efficiency to the homes, but are made from sustainable practices. So for insulation, we are going to be using denim gathered and donated from partner stores like Gap and Urban Outfitters, who we looked up have drives and just donate to good causes. For the insulation, denim insulation has received a Class A fireproof rating and can help with LEED accreditation. Newspaper wood, which is what it sounds like, will be used for flooring and cabinetry. Solar panels will cover the roof and provide electricity and heat. And then mechanical and electrical services like pipes for plumbing and simple electronics like wires and outlets will, in addition to vanities like toilets and sinks, will be gathered from hardware liquidation auctions. So going into the energy and water supply, access to clean energy and water is vital for a sustainable home. The home itself will be designed to optimize heating and cooling with strategic placement of windows and insulation. The electricity generated through solar panels will provide enough green energy to run the entire home with the help of sustainable habits of consumption. So to reach self-sustainability, a house must utilize a power system that can take advantage of consumption patterns, something that we learned about in our entrepreneurship class this past week. So we looked into Tesla Solar City, which is a company willing to help with funding, and that could work with storing excess energy and then using it in times of peak demand for smart energy consumption. So we wanted to put in some other systems that you see on this screen that would help with energy and water. So rainwater could be collected through gutters off the angled roof and placed into a storage system. The rainwater harvesting limits exploitation of limited resources like groundwater and surface water. Underneath the panels will be a series of systems dedicated to cleaning the water and heating it. So once it's stored, it can be purified through solar treatment or just normal treatment, and then it can be heated through a solar heater. But those all depend on the climate and the weather. So whether we adapt them to our sustainable homes or not depends on like the climate, whether it's lots of sun or not. And then we'd also be reclaiming water. Gray water can be easily treated to be reused for services like washing machines and toilets, while black water, which is containing human waste, can be sent to a combined sewer or it can be composted.
Great, so now moving on to partnerships and volunteers. I'm going to tell you some of the key partnerships that will help this program get started. First, it's Global Giving, which is a nonprofit organization who helps other nonprofit organizations get funds, get more donors, and get companies worldwide in order to access funding, tools, training, and support we need to become stronger. Global Giving will be able to help us with money, tools, and labor support to lower our expenses and still setting awareness for our movement. And second, we have CARE. CARE is also another global nonprofit organization who focuses on climate change, poverty and social justice, youth empowerment, and getting clean water to poor areas, and also supporting economic development. And now Ying is going to take over.
Right, so our outreach strategy includes workshops and talks and publications and social media engagement to educate communities on living in and maintaining sustainable shipping container homes, as well as the importance of living in an environmentally sustainable way and the environmental and financial benefits of doing so. There are many available programs currently on living sustainably, which include everything from like furniture building courses to permaculture courses. And we found a publication called the Going Green Handbook, which is published by UN Habitat in about 2012, which outlines sustainable strategies that have been adopted in various developing countries. And it also includes some very good case studies. We will also run recruitment drives and extensive construction training programs to upgrade the skill levels of workers, which could be run on a voluntary basis if we can establish partnerships with organizations that support this cause. We found an example, the New Life Construction Training Program based in California, which is a joint venture between New Life Recovery and Training Center, a non-profit corporation, and the local construction company.
So then up next, this is just a sample layout of a stacked shipping container. Stacking the shipping containers allows for less like land use. So that way we're not spreading out as much. We can condense it, and then it can also go just about anywhere. And having multiple bedrooms is practical for families, and extra windows and stuff provides that lighting, which reduces the need for electricity.
So this is our sample shipping container layout that we came up with. The design is meant to stack to prevent urban sprawl, and it also provides residents with a sense of community.
And then up next, the cost. The cost can really vary with construction projects just based on which area you're working in, as well as material availability. Our goal is to use as many recycled or donated materials as possible. Ideally, each home would cost less than $30,000. And then as more money is raised or whatever, we can add on extra things like hydroponic system to make homes even more sustainable.
So the home will be made primarily out of recycled materials, and the water will be reused or recycled in some way, or captured from rainwater. We'll also use appliances that reduce water usage, like dual toilets or low pressure showers. There will also be lots of windows to let in natural light to reduce electrical use. And it will also create new homes because people working on the construction will be able to get jobs. And once again, the high-density homes will prevent urban sprawl. And it also educates the community and the public on how to live sustainably.
Great. So moving on to the distribution channel, our bases would be the grants, donation, and awareness our company would set up. And from that, we will gather materials that we need to getting started into our sustainable homes. And that will result in sustainable developments, which would be like the communities and everybody getting educated along with that. And along with that, we would get incentive and rebates, which would be like electric bill savings, federal investment tax credit, renewable energy credits, smart inverter incentive, and bonus depreciation, which attracts customers because they can save money by going green, and that impacts the environment.
And
For our revenue stream, we are charging rent, which is low, which is less than 1/3 of the average income of a low-income family. We think charging rent will make people want to live more sustainably and I guess respect their home and everything. Providing we get the donations and grants we need, over the first 5 years we would be getting roughly $6,000 per month, which would then be reinvested into building more homes or adding on to the homes to make them more sustainable.
to go further in depth to the grants, there were 3 that I found. So, continuum of care program that basically incentivizes the end of homelessness with other resources, and we have a pool of $2.1 billion to be distributed towards the winners. And the second one is environmental sustainability, which basically they want advanced sustainability of manufacturing processes, green buildings, and infrastructure. So they will award approximately $100,000. And the last one would be disaster resilience research grants program, and they're for developing science-based building codes by evaluating potential technologies and architectural design criteria to improve the disaster resilience in the built environment, and they will award between $250,000 to $750,000.
So in the future, we hope to just adapt our project to helping the homeless, or possibly helping climate refugees, which are people displaced from climate change, whether it's flooding or desertification, and then, of course, continuing to promote affordable, sustainable infrastructure. So with that, I think we're finished. Here's our sources. Thank you for hanging in there the whole time.
You said that the rent that you're charging them is less than 1/3 of the average annual income for low-income.
I mean, per month. I may have misworded
Yeah,
that.
how does that compare to what they're being charged for less?
I mean, it can vary. I would think the rent part I would say is mostly just so that they I think that would be negotiable in some way, but also just I think sometimes when things are just free, it's undervalued. And we want these homes to be appreciated, and we want people to take full advantage of the sustainable aspects of them and not ruin it.
Well, it's also including utilities and just, it's really helping them change and adapt to a sustainable lifestyle. But to answer your question, I think it's well under the normal, especially for 2 bedrooms, the normal, what we designed.
So this
standard shipping containers that are made for American use typically are covered in toxic paint and pesticides. Did you guys look into what kind of chemical off-sourcing you would have to do to make them livable?
We did read into that. We didn't really come up with a concrete solution, but I'm glad you asked that because it's something that we should definitely look into.
Because one of the big things, especially for the paint, is you have to use a foam insulation to have an air seal rather than just denim to make sure that the toxic paint cannot impact the people living in it. And as far as the wood flooring with pesticides, you can either put like a layer of like an air sealant layer, or you can remove it and replace it. But that's something you want to consider in your costs and probably use that option rather than using chemicals to improve it.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you go back to Hannah's drawing slide? Yeah, I just want to admire for a couple seconds. Okay, so how many people are going to live in this container, and then how do you select your customer? What's your priority? Is it single people, people with family, or which country, or refugee, or like lottery system? And yeah.
To answer your question, we were thinking about depending on the unit. So we have can afford with one of the grants $100,000 plus donations. So we estimate about 4 units inside the lot, and each one of those is, I believe, 1 bedroom.
2 bedroom.
2 bedrooms. So it could be either one person and living with another person as well. So it could be 2 people per unit. And we also want to more choose people who need the space rather than someone who just wants to live there because it's sustainable. But we want to incentivize the use that this is for low-income families, and this is utilizing the resources we have available for them.
And these are easily like customizable too. So I mean, like if like families require something else, if it's just like one person living there, like okay, they don't have to have a second bedroom because it's a small area and it can be easily worked with and worked around. Yes.
How about what if the people, the refugees, the people who can't pay the rent, that are going to kick them out?
That's more of a future plan.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah. It's more like, so we just grabbed data from the census about the average poverty level. Obviously in different regions they have different rates. We just got the average of the U.S.
Justice?
So you said that you're targeting like low income like people, so like your cost is for them. But you also just said that like you don't want like people that make more money to buy it. But like, what if the like audience you're trying to target won't actually fund it? So like, would you still turn it down even though that's like a possible revenue stream? Like, so if somebody like that has enough money to easily just say, yeah, I'm going to sustainable home, they pay for the space. Maybe like you don't give them as much leeway, not as much as they pay.
Yeah.
But like you can still get revenue from it. It helps expansion.
Yeah.
I think, sorry.
You can answer.
I think an initial idea that we had was that people who need housing or need cheaper housing would help with the build, and we would kind of like educate them on like sustainable living, and then they would build themselves a place to live almost, and like it would kind of create a community.
And then we are also floating around the idea of mixed income housing, so we have more of a versatile income level, so that way there's not a stigma of, oh, this is just for those people kind of thing.